Okay, so find two numbers. All right, so I'll write that down. There's two numbers. I don't know what the numbers are, so I'm going to say x and y are the numbers. Such that one shall be n times. Oh, let's call this the one number now. So n times, such that one will be n times as much greater than a. Well, if it's greater than a, that would be y minus a. All right? As the other is less than a. As the other is less than a. Let me just think about that. As the other is less than a. Well, if it's less than a, it's going to be a minus x. Right? So I got my two numbers, I got a relationship between them. Let me just read that again and make sure I've read it correctly. Find two numbers such that one shall be n times as much greater than a, all right, as the other is less than a. All right, so that's done. The next thing it goes on to says, and the quotient of their sum by their difference is equal to b. All right? So what I'm going to do now is, let me look at my key. And I want to emphasize that I think I made a mistake in my key. And I noticed that I'll have to correct it. You're not going to see this, though. And what I mean by that is sometimes when I'm typing things up, I'm coming from piece of paper to typeset work, and I copy things wrong. And I noticed that there's something wrong about this over here. And I'll correct that. This is good. And I believe the answers are good. All right? Now, of course, when I say I believe the answers are good, I believe I just copied wrong. All right? What I need to do is I need to go to the whiteboard, though. And as I go to the whiteboard, I need this information to go to the whiteboard, and I'll point out what information I need. I need the correct information, this here. And then I want to make sure it leads to the answer. All right? So let me go to the whiteboard. And let me just make sure I got all this stuff copied down nice and neat so I can recopy it onto the whiteboard. Yeah, I think I did okay. Let me do this. Go to the whiteboard. And let me put up a whiteboard here. And just give me a second over here. I'll pull this on the side. Oh, it's a blackboard right now. And let me get my pen out. And I'm going to write it down. And again, I got the key in front of me, so I know what I'm looking for. I just don't have any work. So what did I say? I said a minus x is n y minus a, and I said x plus y over x minus y is b. All right? So what I'm going to do now is, I guess I should simplify the top equation and the bottom equation. And I got to be careful. And this is going to be, let's see, a minus x equals n times y minus na. And I'm going to rearrange that so, x and y's are together. And I can write this as ny plus x. And this would be a plus na. All right? And I'm going to rearrange it again so it looks like more like the, x, y equals a number. So x plus ny equals a plus na. All right, I'm going to rewrite the second equation too. A little bit easier to do. You get x plus y equals bx minus by. And so that's going to be, let's see, it's going to be 1 minus bx plus, right, 1 plus by is equal to 0. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an elimination. And as I do that, I realize that I'm going to be doing some multiplication. So I'm going to write this as a product. And this product is really just a times 1 plus n, or n plus 1. Let me multiply both sides of the top equation by 1 minus b. And I'm going to put it right below the bottom equation now. So if I took the top equation multiplied by 1 minus b, you'd get 1 minus b. You know what? I'm going to do minus. That may make it a little bit easier for me. All right? And then you're going to get minus 1 minus b times n y equals a, well, minus 1 plus n 1 minus b. All right? So what I'm going to do, add them together, and the x's disappear. And now I got to be somewhat careful about the y. And let me write this down. So I'm going to write down y, and then you'd get 1 plus b. Let's see, minus n plus nb. I'm going to be careful and look at it again, make sure I did that right. 1 plus b minus n, and then it's going to be plus nb. All right, I did okay. And this is going to be minus a 1 plus n 1 minus b. I'm going to solve for y now. And as I do that, I'm going to make one tiny simplification. I'm going to associate the negative 1 with the 1 minus b. So I get rid of the leading coefficient of a negative. And I get a. I'm going to write it as n plus 1. Right? It's the same thing as 1 plus n plus 1, same thing. But again, I'm associating the minus 1 with the 1 minus b. So it's going to be b minus 1. And what do you get on bottom? Well, let's be careful. It's going to be 1 plus b plus nb minus 1. Now, before I go forward, certainly I make mistakes sometimes, and I want to just look in my key and see if I've actually matched that. And I see the a, I see the b minus 1, n plus 1. Good job on top. Let's see if I did the bottom right. Again, they have a little bit out of order, but I'm thinking whoops, I think I made a mistake somewhere. I think I made a copy error. I'm sorry about that. I just noticed it. All right? And again, it was a copy error. I'm going to look back over it. It's nice to have a key to know I made a copy error. And it looks like 1 plus b, I got that, plus nb. Yep, I got the bottom two. I'm glad I checked it. All right? So someone says, what are you going to do now? Well, I could substitute it back in, but I think I'm going to do elimination again. So what I want to do is I want to, erase some things here that I no longer need. I'm going to erase this business here. I don't need this anymore. I'm done with it. I'm pretty comfortable I got the correct y. And again, I'm actually checking my key now, make sure I get the right thing. Erase this too. And then the question goes, how are you going to deal with the other elimination you want to perform? And let's see if we can do it. You know what? I want to erase something else over here too. I don't need to get these checks. I know they're right now. And let's go back. And let's start again. And I'm looking to eliminate, well, the y now. So I'm going to multiply the top by, it's more difficult, by the way, 1 plus b. And that's going to give me like n, 1 plus by. And I can multiply the bottom equation by minus n. All right, that's more work, isn't it? So I got to write that down. And that's going to be 1 plus b x plus n 1 plus b y equals a 1 plus n 1 plus b. I'm multiplying both sides by 1 plus b. Now let's do the minus n business. What do you get? Minus n 1 minus b x. Let's see. Minus n 1 plus b y equals 0. And I got to add it together. And I got to be careful. And certainly, I got a key to look at. And I'm hoping it agrees with my key, by the way. And what do you get? Maybe I'm being overly optimistic by putting my equal sign there. Let me erase that. And let me just do the left side. And I'll be careful. And it's going to be the coefficient. Whoops, I got the eraser out still. The coefficient is going to be 1 plus b minus n plus nb x. And the y term is going to disappear. And then I get the right-hand side, when I add 0 plus that, a times 1 plus n, 1 plus b, is going to be a. I'm going to write it as n plus 1 now. I want to be more consistent. And b plus 1. And I think I can easily now solve for x. And what's x going to be? And then we'll look at the key once I solve it. Hopefully I don't make any cop errors this time. A, n plus 1, b plus 1, and on bottom you're going to get 1 plus b plus nb minus n. Again, we've already verified this. And now I'll look at my x, see if my key is good. And I'll correct those typos in the key as well. So let's take a look. You got a, b plus 1. I got that, n plus 1. On bottom, I got the nb plus b plus 1 and minus n, all looking good. All right? So those two typos, or I shouldn't say two typos, the typo in one of the equations I'll correct. And you're not going to see it, and things are working out nicely over here. I consider this to be a very difficult question, by the way. And what I mean by that, the wording of it was difficult for me. It took me time to think about it. I also asked a colleague about the wording of it. And of course, people blow this stuff off saying, oh, this is just, she said to me that, oh, those old books were really hard to read. It's really a language thing. And I said to her explicitly that I felt the algebra problems today were super simplistic. I mean, they're almost, most algebra come across, they're really kind of very simple problems, almost stuff you could do in your sleep. This one I could definitely not do in my sleep. I consider it to be a tough problem. Again, some people, they may want to reach out to me, and I know I say it periodically to you. My name is Ron Bannon. And if you have a better idea about how to do the problem, it would be great if you'd make a video of it, something that you'd want to present to someone, and share it. And if it's, certainly I'll put in the notes if it's good, all right? And if you want to, maybe just write something else, that's fine too. Now, if I get really busy, I'm not going to be able to answer you. But at this point in time, although I'm busy, I'm not busy with email, that's for sure. Thank you.